This is Startup Monterey Bay Connect. We're here to meet people, so make sure you meet lots of people because there are some really cool people in the audience tonight, including my good friend Doug Erickson down from Santa Cruz Works. Thank you for being here, Doug. They do amazing stuff in Santa Cruz supporting entrepreneurship up there. So be here and network and find out what's happening. Want to acknowledge our sponsors who help us make all this happen. EDA, Blue Tech Valley Accelerator, Monterey Bay Economic Partnership, James Irvine Foundation, putting tremendous amount of investment into this region that's making a real difference. PG&E, White Summers, and Tom Armstrong. If you need to set up a company or get it funded, Tom's your guy to talk to. First Capital Bank and Wells Fargo and others. But we always start with a monthly news quiz. Now we're all sad because Mary Jo normally does the news quiz. She's not sad, she's on vacation. She's having a very good time. But we're sad because she's not here. But we have a fabulous stand-in Rosalind Sandoval, who is a new faculty member in entrepreneurship and management here at Cal State Monterey Bay.
Okay, so question one. We do these questions. We like to do 3 questions. So if you just know the answer, please shout them out. Which new venture just raised $18 million in Series A funding? That was so hard. Cruise foam. Great job.
What does cruise foam make? Foam. Foam. For cruising. No.
They're within the earth of plastics and styrofoam.
Well, it's made out of shells from
Shrimp
shells. Shrimp shells.
Yes.
Shrimp shells.
And say that really fast.
Shrimp shells. I can't. Made from shrimp shells. And so it's biodegradable and so forth. And so it's not like plastic, but it's also really good for packaging. It has all the same characteristics that we have of other kinds of foams that are not as environmentally sound.
Very cool. And we will hear from another company who's doing something in related space when we hear from Nicholas DeLuca tonight. Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. What is the name of the 2022 Startup Challenge Monterey Bay Social Division winner that is breaking barriers to tackling rural unemployment? Oh.
Right person.
Yeah. Yes, work hard. Do you know what they're doing? Yeah. How's she doing it? Do you know how she's doing it? Yeah.
So what's her business model? How is she trying to attack this problem?
She's trying to do virtual, like teach people skills through virtual learning. Like people that are in rural areas, they can just use their laptop to access different skills and jobs.
Yeah. Perfect.
Training rural workers to be able to work remotely. A lot of people out in rural areas who do not have the skills to be able to work remotely. So that's what our nonprofits are doing.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we got our very own Brad in there. Okay. What well-beloved institute was recently awarded a $27,000 grant?
Blue Pinnacle Bank from the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco.
I hope it's
Y'all know this one.
It's a blast.
Oh! Our own beloved institute. So
Very cool.
very cool.
All right. What's up next? So be in the know. StartupMontereyBay.com and SantaCruzWorks.org. Both of us have news feeds, and we'll keep you current on what's going on in the entrepreneurship world in the region and beyond. All right. Doug, you're working on writing a series of articles on really cool topic on hydrogen. Tell us a little bit about what that series is about.
It started with UCSC's breakthrough with green hydrogen, and then it's just grown from there to talk with so many different companies that are working on hydrogen-based solutions now, and to the point where I'm claiming it's the next sort of internet, right? You know, when internet blew up on us, everybody was like creating companies. I think it's hydrogen. I really think.
So you think hydrogen is explosive growth, right?
Well, actually, you know, when it's compressed, it has explosive growth, and it is, you know, if you look, you can see new companies cropping up every single day.
You're aware of this huge fraud in the hydrogen energy space. I think it was out of Utah. You're not aware, okay. There's been some real fraud in trying to do hydrogen production and use of vehicles. So
Oh, there's always going to be a bad apple in every.
yeah, this was a really rotten, really big.
You should look at, look at one in Hollister.
Yeah, no, it's not that the field
There's
is
so
bad,
many
it's that
good
there are
ones
also
there.
fraud.
And we all know that Joby has acquired a German hydrogen cell, fuel cell company. So it is, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
It's the
So
only.
you think they're going to run the planes like hydrogen power rather than storage?
Well, see, the trick is for short distances, electric works great, but there's only so far you can go with a battery. So hydrogen gets them that next distance.
Lithium is good for short distances, but it's only
Yeah.
hydrogen.
So it's very cool.
Solution for storage anyway. There's all sorts of new technologies coming out for storage, much faster charging, better, they hold more energy. and so forth.
And
Cool.
it's the geopolitical issue with China owning the lithium, so.
Minor details.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Real quick, some things, important things coming up. A big one at the end of this month. This is November. So at the end of this month, November 30th, December 1st, the DART Symposium. DART stands for Drones, Automation, and Robotics Technology. So covering all of those technologies, the DART Symposium is going to be focused on workforce development. If we're going to have Joby Aviation here making cutting edge aircraft, if we're going to have AgTech here making robots for the field, if we're going to have Xiao making his robots here, we need those workers of the future. There's an opportunity for the Central Coast to really transform itself through these technologies and really become a world center. We're already there, actually, with Joby in our backyard. We're already a long ways there. So this is going to be a really important symposium. I encourage everybody to come. Again, November 30th, December 1st, on this campus over at the University Center. And if you go to mbdart.org, you can find out more about this and register. In early February, first weekend in February, we will have our next Startup Factory. For those of you who have been around, this used to be called Startup Weekend, but we're not using Techstars anymore, so they won't let us use their name anymore. That's fine. We changed the name. I like this name better anyway. I love the name Startup Factory because that's what Startup Factory is about, is getting ideas started. So it's the first weekend in February. It is open to students. It's open to community members. We like to have a mix of about equal of both. Free for CSUMB students. More at startupfactorymb.eventbrite.com, or pull out your phones and focus them on the QR code there. Do we have flyers for this out? Not yet. We'll get those out to you. Okay, what else is happening? Get virtual. If you know a small business that is in need of getting their virtual game going better, if they need a website, they need email, they need social media They need all those things virtual. This is the program that can help them do it. It is a great program for the students that actually build the websites, put together the social media programming for them. It is a great deal for the companies that get websites, get their social media up and running for them. So this is a win-win for everybody. Get Virtual has been a fabulous program. All right, what else? And now it's time. We need a drum roll. Drum roll. There we go. We got to have a drum roll for tonight's speakers. So I'm going to hand over the, what are we going to call it? The magic medallion to Kristina Chavez Wyatt.
Again, my name is Kristina Chavez Wyatt. It's very a pleasure to be with you here today. I also wear another hat. I've been the executive director of the San Benito County Business Council for 12 years. So thank you, Doug, for the shout out for Zero Avia. They are a manufacturer of Hollister that's converting conventional aircraft to hydrogen fueling. And they're also out of the UK. They're an international company and they chose Hollister. And we have really great jobs. Our manufacturers here are growing 30 to 50% a year. And that's one of the reasons why I love my work. CMTC is a 501c3 nonprofit founded 30 years ago in Los Angeles. And we are the manufacturing extension program provider with the US Commerce Department through the National Institute of Standards and Technology. We also partner with the Governor's Office for Business and Economic Development called GoBiz, providing technical assistance for small and medium businesses. And that was that program that helped DC's gluten-free. CMTC works with about 2,000 manufacturers across the state of California every year. We grew into Northern California after we won a competitive procurement program with the federal government and the Commerce Department to own and operate the California Manufacturing Network. So we provide support to Santa Cruz Works and programs like Doug, to the Center for Manufacturing Excellence, SF-NAID, Biocom, et cetera. And our goal is to sustain and improve profitable growth for manufacturers in the state of California. And we do this with technical training and consulting services that cover the gamut of all kind of business support. We just don't do legal, we don't do insurance, and we don't do any kind of direct lending, but we do assist businesses like Nice's in securing loans, et cetera. And I'm glad that Brad brought up Nice's gluten-free. The program that we provided to them was supplier matching, lean, and business development support. So they knew they wanted to acquire a commercial facility, but what kind of equipment do they need to purchase? Where should they be placing their equipment where you have less steps and less energy utilized to run your business? That being said too is, what are the pricing for their products and whether the pricing of all of the items that go into their recipes to ascertain which most profitable items and how to do their pricing. So we were very happy to help them. One of the reasons why they were qualified for the California Manufacturers Accelerator Plus program is they are a women-owned minority business. So majority of the manufacturers we work with are smaller women, minority, and veteran-owned businesses, or those are in economically disparaged communities. One of the biggest items that we work with here within our region, again, is food manufacturing, but we also run the gamut into aerospace, medical devices. I work with folks who make ice cream and salsa to folks like Zero Avia that are looking to change the world. And hydrogen is really a key to that, Doug, and thank you for bringing that up, because hydrogen has 0 greenhouse gas emissions, and the energy value that comes out of that versus jet fuel is 3 times more powerful. So we can go further, longer, more efficiently, and not impacting our environment. So in a nutshell, that's what CMTC does. I'd be happy to talk to you more about what we do, but I don't want to put you to sleep. And I want us to support and promote and celebrate our manufacturers here today, and also collaborate and network about how to keep them growing and providing good jobs here in the Monterey Bay. So next, I believe we have Xiao with Friendly Robots.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you all so much for being here, for the stage, for the time to talk about my startup. You will see that it very much came, right from here. I went to PG High, 99. Yeah, go Breakers. Yeah. So while I was not in school. This is, you know, kind of overcast skies, expansive parking lot. Any idea where this is? I think it's like 2 blocks that way. It's four-doored, right? So like you know, flew a lot of model airplanes and whatnot. Really loved engineering. I feel it's important to talk about the bio of the CEO, to talk about, you know, the whole presentation so that we have a context so that you can get the most out of it. So yeah, so love planes, went to UC Berkeley, studied mechanical engineering, got my BS and PhD there, was at Apple for 5 years, some Silicon Valley startups before founding Friendly Robots company. And so what I'm here to do is to not only promote the company, but also talk about, you know, my personal journey on entrepreneurship so that, you know, somebody else might have an idea, might say, okay, well, that person did this, and that can hopefully help synthesize their mind. So the business agenda for Friendly Robots is very simple. I drew a little chart here. So this part of the screen, we have dumber machines, you know, like your blender, just turn it on, your hair dryer. And then we have smarter machines, which has, you know, tens of thousands of humans typing code. And then we have large machines like a boat. And then we have smaller machines. But somewhere in the middle are smarter machines that also has power. And that's what makes robots, right? If you think about power, your vacuum has what, a kilowatt or so, but it really has no software behind it. Your cell phone, you know, vibrates and you can lose your money through whatever, but like, it's not gonna hurt you, right? So that's what really defines robotics, or the, you know, what we need to be careful of. And of course, humans are gonna push technology that way, right? Self-driving cars kind of here. It's pretty large and it's got a lot of code. So the agenda for the business is first and foremost, Friendly Robots is to do the dull, dirty, and dangerous work. And janitorial is certainly one of them. And nobody really wants to do it. It is done. It is often done by part of the population that doesn't have that much option, right? So we want to remove those jobs and instead create different kind of jobs. We want people to deploy them. We want people to maintain them. We want people to develop them, market them, communicate the use case to other people. So this is a job creation part. As a CEO, I was very much a engineering person, and when I became a business person, like this got drilled into me. My job is to create jobs for people. That's it. It's the robot whole thing is just a medium. It's a genre. It's not the end aim in itself. I do not create robots for the sake of creating robots. I create robot businesses so that people can get the benefit of robots, and that people enjoy working on robots, get to work on robots. I explicitly do not work on robots. I fuss with other stuff that are fun. So the solutions that we currently do are floor care and HVAC air duct. And so floor care is fairly simple. So I brought one of our prototypes out there. It's actually got a primer on it. We're supposed to paint it today. This is one of our later generation ones, but we hauled it down from Oakland. We're at a co-working space by Hagenberger. I myself at the Pearl Works here in Monterey, so I want to give a shout out to those folks. That's how I got connected into this whole scene when I relocated here. You might be familiar with this place. Anybody has been to this place? Right, so this was a demo at the Portola Hotel a couple of weeks ago. So Janine and Troy are still noodling on it. I hope he comes back positive, but that's all he does. It's just a robot that vacuums for you. Happy to talk more about it. And the difference is that we do 25,000 square feet per charge versus a Roomba is about 2,000. So it's very much, if you want a pickup truck or do you want a dump truck, right? It's got all the accoutrements of technology that Silicon Valley loves: machine vision, LiDAR, SLAM, artificial intelligence, teleoperations, UI, all that kind of stuff, right? Even though it seems like a very simple machine, it's a full-fledged self-driving vehicle. The model that I went for is hard software, soft hardware, which means like the software is a stack and a half. We use partners from UK. We have, we use places that's got like a couple dozen PhDs with SLAM background, so that we got that best in the world. But if you look at this thing, or you look at the machine out there that I brought to you, It's lead acid batteries. It's some, post that you can get from Home Depot. It's some laser cut sheet metal. It's 3D printed sensor mounts. It's basically, $100 sensor hardware with, electric wheelchair chassis. But the software is what makes the whole thing cook. And it picks up dirt. And this is essentially what you will see. Like if we were to service this campus, which is serviced by UGT, which we actually worked over here at Stanford. So this is at Stanford. And in the back there's a sign that says beat Cal. That's funny, right? Anyway, because I'm from Cal. So we're sitting there vacuuming. So the reason I really love this hard software, soft hardware is because according to my calculation, if you look at the GDP of the world, this thing would make economic sense in places like South America, right? Like if I'm going to create a piece of technology in a business, it better be everywhere. The ROI on the equipment is a little bit longer, but it's still better to have a robot do this stuff. And so that's my goal, my agenda to proliferating this thing. Second thing is in development, we received about $860K of funding from Department of Energy. Department of Energy through one of their American-made prizes. So what DOE knows really, really well, these 199-page report is that all these HVAC ductwork, all of them leak. All of them leak because it's not water. People don't really pay attention, but it actually does leak. And when it does leak, we end up losing tremendous amount of energy through these. So on the order of $50 billion. Like these kind of statistics are really easy to gather up, right? So DOE knows this. It contributes about 1% of the CO2 emission. It's not 10%, it's 1%, but one at a time. And so what we proposed was to say, okay, look, we're gonna fly a drone in there. Love drones. We're gonna do the same SLAM technology. We're gonna use the same LiDAR stuff. We're gonna stitch all this image together, and we're gonna give you back a Google Street View equivalent in your ductwork. So out of the 80,000 scenes over that 2 mile of ductwork where it's leaking, so that you can say, I'm gonna open up this wall right here, right now, to then be able to seal it so that we can get this economic benefit. The aardvark is actually a proposal to seal it. That one's a little dicier. We're gonna see if it fleshes out or not. Even for your home, sealing ductwork is a really big energy saver. It's just so hidden that people don't think about it. But so I'm thankful that DOE sort of give this opportunity to us. So I know this is supposed to be a teaser. So here's the team. Top folks are folks who have been around since 2019. We all have a distributed team out in New York City as well. So we actually do have a vehicle at Penn Station in Manhattan. So it's easy to replicate. Again, soft hardware, hard software. Okay, so this is my slide for entrepreneurship. Most of the time it's that. Most of the time it's that. This is like 5 minutes. Most of the time it's that. It's that kind of stress. It's that kind of uncertainty. Anybody seen this film? Right? It's like, right? Zero Avia, it's So it's Zero Avia has the same advisor / funder, Brian Snow, Impala Ventures out in San Diego as us. Farm-wise, we went to the same Alchemist accelerator in San Francisco. There were a couple cohorts before that. It's a very small community, and I get it. It's always that and that, right? So with that, thank you. Next speaker.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Todd Thompson. I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm the CEO of Carnot Compression. And we are bringing an innovative air and gas compressor technology to market. And we are also out raising money. So I am going to play a little video about our company and about our raise here. I can do it the old-fashioned way.
Manufacturing relies on electricity, gas, water, and air. That's right, compressed air is commonly referred to as manufacturing's fourth utility. Air compressors are a pivotal part of our lives, with uses ranging from milking cows to painting cars to making semiconductors. Approximately 2/3 of air compressors in use are oil flooded, which creates risk of oil-contaminated air adds additional operating costs, and negatively impacts the environment. The air compressor market is expected to exceed $40 billion in sales by 2028, yet we've been stuck with the same basic technology for decades, until now.
The Carnot compressor uses water to compress air in a spinning drum. During the process, the water absorbs the heat of compression, thereby reducing energy losses and allowing our machines to run continuously. The result? Our compressors not only save customers money, but require minimal maintenance and can handle 24/7 demand. Now that's efficient.
With the funds from our first Start Engine campaign, where we raised over $950,000 from over 1,100 investors, combined with over $5 million in grant funding, we have progressed from proof of concept to testing our first beta units.
My name is Nick, and I am the owner-operator of 3 auto body shops, and I'm really excited to do the beta test on the Carnot air system because we currently use our air for paint booths, and we're going to need the low temperature and clean air output that the Carnot can produce. We're very excited about its low maintenance costs because we currently spend quite a bit of money on maintenance every year. So we're looking forward to that as well, and the environmentally friendly setup of not needing oil changes and all the extra waste that comes along with that.
Having relied on the same compressors for decades, customers are eager for more reliable compressor with longer operating life and lower lifetime cost. We believe the Carnot compressor is the solution.
By offering customers an oil-free solution with greater reliability and a longer lifetime, the Carnot compressor could create a new category in this market. With additional funding, we believe we can unlock the Carnot compressor's full potential.
The future of compression is Carnot compression. Invest today.
Okay, so hopefully you know a lot more about air compressors than you did before you got here. So we're attacking a really big market. Air compressors are ubiquitous across industry, across ag, across commercial applications. And we've got really a very unique technology. We've got 5 core patents on the tech. And we've progressed from idea and hey, the idea works to beta testing. So been funded by the California Energy Commission twice. We're on our second CEC grant. Just started a $2 million grant this past April. And we've also been funded by National Science Foundation through their SBIR program. We raised close to $1 million about a year ago on Start Engine, and we're back raising up to 3.2 million. And this raise is really about getting through our beta test program. It's match funding for our CEC grant. So you're coming in and the CEC is paying roughly 2/3 of our cost to fund the R&D program. And we've got a beta test program lined up in dairy, in automotive painting. You saw Nick, anyone that's gone to a Fix Auto body shop in Gilroy or San Jose might know Nick. Anyway, we're going to be testing, that's our first beta unit under the CEC grant. And we're looking to use this grant and use this fundraising round to get us through beta testing and into early commercial production. So if you have any questions, I'll be around after the other speakers. Thank you.
There are if you just look at the packaging part of plastics, it's about 160 million tons a year. It represents about 40% of plastics made, and almost all of that ends up in the landfill. A lot of that, huge part of that is single-time use. When legislation is coming out, there are governments that are getting involved with it. That's bubble wrap I found on my street. The amount Amazon, I think Amazon's about 160 million pounds, or somewhere between 100 and 160 million pounds of plastic. When you think just about the amount of bubble wrap that's used, it could cover all of San Jose. And last night I did a calculation. the amount of bubble wrap we use would go around the earth 250 times, a 1 foot wide piece, 250 times the circumference of the earth every year. So all of that is going into landfills. Plastics are recycled very, very small amount compared to paper. Paper is almost 80, in some cases up to 90% recycled. So our first solution, our goal again, is to become a leader in trying to take these areas which are classically plastic and try to find biodegradable, compostable alternatives. Pubble is our first product. It's a biodegradable, compostable paper product. And the intention is for it to, what we're using it for is a replacement for bubble. It's also being used for void fill. It's called Earth Wrap. That's the product. You know, a little bit about our market. We're approaching, it's a $1 to $3 billion market, $1 billion in the US, about 3 billion worldwide in bubble wrap. We have, I'll go through some of the customers, but we've been selling on Amazon. We have distributors. We just recently fulfilled our first order for Home Depot, which was 15 miles of that. So to capture 0.5% of the market, we have to go around the earth at least once. So 15 miles just got us, like not even to Gilroy. Anyway, so and we're currently raising about 1.5 million for our next phase. I got started in packaging a long time ago when there was polystyrene peanuts were the big thing, and today we would have about 100 times the amount of polystyrene peanuts. This was the Novus model is what we started. So when you get the box from Amazon and you get those inflatable bags of air, that's where I started. And then, I thought I was doing the world a great service with providing inflatable bags of air instead of polystyrene peanuts. We needed to be having paper bags of air, but thankfully we don't have as much polystyrene in the world. But the model with Novus was we used plastic flat bags, and then rather than shipping all the volume, we would inflate the volume. So that same model, which is what's done ubiquitously now, is being done for what we're doing for Pubble. So we start with a flat material, and then we inflate the material, and the intention is to do that on site at a customer. So there's sort of two steps and two steps in making the product. So one step is we take the raw material, the paper, and we convert that. So I'm going to try to make the video work here. And so I knew this was about manufacturing, so we brought a couple of videos to show you a little bit about the process. Great. So this is our step one process. It runs at about 100 a minute. And this process takes the two sheets of paper and combines them and puts the adhesive in between that. You want to play it once more, maybe you can get. So again, you can see the paper on this top, and then it comes through die cuts, rotary die cuts, basically, and then we roll it back up. So we built this machine, and we're doing this here in Sand City. So once we've finished this this roll, this process in general is called converting process. That's the kind of, and these machines can run up to 3,000 feet a minute. They can run very, very fast. We're running at about 100 feet a minute here, and the intention is to then keep improving that. You mind? Yeah. Pause. Let me go. Can we go back to? Oh, can we? Can we? Yeah. Well, this is going to be. You know what? Why don't I just show the step two? I'm sorry. Why don't we just go? So this step two is then the pressing part. And so this is a machine we've also built. This is a step two where we actually take the material and then form the bubbles. And this is, you can see it in this part, and that consists of a heated die platen that's pressing. This we call our max machine. And you can sort of get the sense of how it started from the beginning, and I mean from the end, and this is where the role comes in. So again, a machine that we've built that is doing this step 2 of the process, and perforating. In this case, it's perforating and then rolling up for consumer. So this is the step 1 machine, the step 2 machine. And then the next thing that we're doing is also making smaller step 2. So you saw the giant max machine. This is a machine that is intended to be placed directly at a facility. So, place like a mail order facility like Amazon, where we're actually doing that expanding on site. This is sort of what it looks like. One of the things that it's hard to grasp the volume. I mean, we thought, okay, we should be able to, but inherently the amount of volume, this is 4 pallets. So we, for this first order, ran 16 pallets, and it's just a lot of material handling. So the management of that becomes something that is a lot to deal with. This is a small system we've built that's more of a dispenser for use at an end customer site. This is what I was mentioning again, the DL3000 for producing, and these are other integrations. We've been able to integrate with envelopes, and this is for use for a just-in-time making system at an e-commerce facility. So these are some of the markets that we're now in different uses. Last thing I'll mention that we're also doing is for thermal protection of foods like butcher block, like all the mail order foods. The product works really, really well to keep things cold. So as an example, a competitive product was running about 40 to 50 hours, and we were between 60 and 70 hours on. So a lot of opportunity with that. We've got 7 patents filed, and 3 of them have issued. Exit strategies are a lot of exit strategies. There are some very large companies that potentially are interested. Unilever is one of our largest customers, and also working with some larger some large paper companies as well as partners. So I know the focus today was on the manufacturing side. I'll maybe just keep it short. If you go on Amazon, if you need packaging, let us know. And we have a myself and Steve are involved, and also work with some local team here, Coastal Proud. So I'll end it at that. I appreciate the time. Any questions, and I'd love to share.
So I'm not Cindy Busenhart, the CEO of Merge4. I'm Nico Peruzzi. I'm a board member standing in for Cindy tonight, because as many CEOs of small companies do, they wear many hats. And currently, Cindy was down in Cayucos today installing a display at one of our wholesaler accounts. So instead, I'm here, and let's see what happens. Am I going to get to my video?
Hi, we're Merge4. We're a sock company founded on the idea that business can be used for good. With Reprieve Technology, Merge4 has helped recycle over 28,000 plastic bottles and counting. We're committed to giving our customers a product that is comfortable, sustainable, chemical-free, and super aesthetically pleasing. Our socks are made with the highest quality fibers, ranging from hemp to bamboo and cotton. We want to help you feel the difference wherever your adventure takes you. Our unique arch support and moisture-wicking soles keep you ready for anything. We're proud to work with an amazing group of collaborators, artists, musicians, and athletes that all contribute to Merge4's rapidly growing community. We hope to welcome you to our family too, so we can help you feel the difference.
Okay, there's a little video. So I'm going to give you a board member perspective, and I'm an investor in Merge4 as well. So why did I decide to work with Cindy and give her money and join the board and such? So her story goes that in the 90s and 2000s, she was the CEO of Sessions, which was a snowboarding apparel company making technical outerwear. And she had a son who was skateboarding a lot and was blowing through his socks, basically wrecking them all the time. And she says, gosh, can I use some of my knowledge to make a better sock? So that kind of began her journey. And she came to the point where after so many prototypes, she finally created something that she was happy with. So I'm a market and product researcher by trade. And for the last few years, I've been doing consumer studies for Merge 4. And the things that we find are the top of the list when someone wants to purchase socks are quality, comfort, and fit. Now, second, beyond that is design aspects, look and feel, what's happening. So Cindy created a better sock. And so what does she do next? Because, well, why? Okay, great, you can create a good sock. Well, number one, I ask, is there a market there? So the global sock market by 2025 is forecast to be about $60 billion. So people buy a lot of socks. And the next piece that she put in play was, once she had created a really high quality sock, was how do we have the coolness factor? So Merge 4 model is based on working with artists who give their designs to Merge 4 in exchange for royalty on every sock that is sold. So it's sort of a shared revenue sharing model that creates these synergies where the artists want to promote the product because they get paid every time one of their socks sells. Merge 4 gets our brand out there more so. The other thing that really attracted me to Cindy was that she, from the get-go, she started the company as a B Corp. Now, a lot of people get confused with B Corp. This is not our tax structure. We're an S Corp. A B Corp is a certification that sits on top of your business from an accrediting agency that makes sure that you're doing business for good. So Patagonia is the premier example of a B Corporation in the United States. Merge 4, from the beginning, set out to say, how can we use this model that we're creating to also help and do good? So one of their first collaborations was with Lucille Packard Children's Hospital. What they did for them was they would do things like take their artists from Santa Cruz up to the hospital, work with the kids, create art with them. From that art, they created a sock design. And then that sock design, when it's sold, supports the hospital. They do this with the Jane Goodall Foundation. They do this with San Diego Conservation District as well. So those are the reasons that I decided to work with Cindy. All of their, as you saw from the video here, sustainability is really key. All of the packaging is plastic free now. They're simple pieces of thread instead of plastic that hold the labels to the socks. She's done a lot over the last few years. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Because I was not provided, didn't get any slides here jumping in at the last second. So I got the video and that's it. Let's see, founded in 2017. So been doing this a while. Got about $2 million in revenue now. And one of the things about this company as I thought about it was that some of the companies we've heard today are just amazing, right? These could be billion-dollar companies that you all have. When sometimes there are companies that are more like the bakery, where you have a very concrete product of something that you're doing. It's a lot lower risk because you know, I can make these things that people need and that they want. And the growth is a lot slower, it's a lot calmer, and if you stick it out long enough and get through all the trials and tribulations of any startup, there's a good chance of it working out in the end. And in doing that, Cindy, in addition to myself, none of you really know me, but some of the early investors were Rob Roskopf, who was the founder of Santa Cruz Bicycles, Guy Kawasaki, who a few of you might know from Apple and now Canva evangelist, and Jason Weeman Acuna from the Jackass franchise is also an investor. So the fun part about this for me is I get to meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of artists, bands, people that sort of bring some excitement into things. And we've got a display out in the lobby there with the socks. I encourage you to grab one, pull on it, see what a really high quality sock is made of. And where we are right now from the startup perspective is that we're always seeking funding. We're a company that exists on like inventory buys and things, right? The more we grow, the more money we need to do bigger buys, to do more growth, to keep on moving. So we're always looking for strategic investors to help us do that.
I just want to give all of these folks kudos for doing business in California. If you didn't know, California is the largest manufacturing economy in the United States. Better than Michigan, better than Texas. And it's incredibly difficult and expensive and highly regulatory onerous to have and run a business here. So thank you all for taking a risk at having a business. But one of the questions I'd like to start off is, why Monterey Bay? Why make it in Monterey Bay? Is audio okay?
Well, you know, I give it to Cindy, who is, you know, Santa Cruz born and raised, right? And when you start a sports company, starting in the background, you know, in the backyard of Santa Cruz skateboards and Santa Cruz bicycles and just the skate surf culture of Santa Cruz fit really well with it.
Yeah, I can add to my piece to it, which is we've been in the Bay Area since 2008, 2009 or so, and we pretty much can saturate the Bay Area. Monterey Bay, it's, you know, got a little bit of distance. It offers a little more elbow room, breathing room, and also we want to create a manufacturer and deployment center here for the hospitality demands over here in the Monterey Bay. The way I like to phrase it is that if you can change your tire and jumpstart your car, you should be able to build that machine and deploy it. And so we want to promote that kind of opportunity, right? Fundamentally, it's about, okay, well, you can jump on the robotics bandwagon, buy this medium, why not? It just takes so much more resources over here. It's that nice little step away from Silicon Valley.
Best place to live in the world.
Also, of course.
How about you, Nick?
Well, I guess little feet packaging, and in my life, I've got 10 little feet that I worry about. 5 kids, so I've been here. It's probably not the ideal place to be converting paper in these huge volumes. I think it is for us, the development of the machines and building the machines here is definitely something that we'll be able to keep here. Some of the other components, well, because it's also have to do in different parts of the country. But I mean, I think CSUMB has been a great reason to stay here now. I think that's been really nice as a community and entrepreneur. Yeah, where you go? There he is. Yeah.
And Todd. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick, were you done?
Yeah, no, I'm
Finish
done.
your thought. Okay, excellent.
Okay, so for us, we haven't decided where we're gonna physically produce our product. I would say this area has been great to be in R&D mode because most of our funding has been from the California Energy Commission. And just personally, I've been in Scotts Valley since 2005. So I don't want to ever leave the area.
Questions? Yes, sir.
For all of you, so what are you looking for? What do you need that you don't have?
Customers, for us, customers, all the hospitality on demand. We're at a point where the machine and the building is mature enough where we can crank them out. Okay, 2 vehicles replacing 2 full-time bodies when we use it, and give that money to 1 person and never do this. So if everybody had any connections to any hotels and hospitality.
Good email marketing program. We can help you with that. Yeah, absolutely.
So sales and marketing.
I mean, I think right now we're at a stage really with financing and growing to the next step. We've really proven the product, and I think now it's growth.
Money.
Yeah. For us, it's pretty simple. Money. You know, we're out crowdfunding. We've been successful, raised over $1 million through crowdfunding, and we're looking to raise enough to get us through beta testing and to the point of going to market with the product.
Sales, money.
Money. Yeah, we did a friends and family round, you know, to start. Had some founders put in money. We were really lucky to take advantage of a lot of COVID era funding. I mean, so many loans we didn't have to pay back, basically, which was amazing. But it's expansion now. Once you prove things, right? And now you're like I said, we have to do the inventory buys went from $100,000 to $500,000.
By the way, factor,
Which we have used.
But I noticed that none of you expressed any desire for any help other than, you know, money and sales. And so I wonder, every time I talk to people in startups, they always tell me, I want money. Yeah. And then I want money, and then I want money. But they always, in my experience, almost always need, when they say money, is help. Not money, but help. And money comes with help. But can you tell me why it is that you think money or sales is more important than help, or what help you might need?
Well, I'll start. So money keeps our product development team going. We've got 2/3 of our costs covered by the California Energy Commission. So thank you to the CDC. And we need more money for testing and continued product development. And if we hit the higher end of our raise, money would enable us to hire more people as we continue to progress to grow.
But again, my question was, other than money, sales, what help do you need, if any? Or if you're, you know, look, if you're an experienced professional business person and you know what you're doing, you don't need help, or do you?
Yeah. Right now, the help we need is in the product development side. So it's on the engineering technical side. Right now. We've got early adopters. You know, we've identified early markets. So we've got a customer pipeline. We need to get the product to that point where it's ready. So we need engineering support and we need field test hours.
I give us an A+ in product development. I think our product development people are key. We had someone who did the Olympic outfits for North Face, you know, for our Olympic athletes, right? So technical product development of textiles, really well handled. Marketing, really good. I mean, we got Kawasaki in our ear, you know, giving us advice. And I think our vision and our collateral and the way that we use our collaborators and our ambassadors, I think they're doing really, really well. So it's needing to do more marketing, really. Is like I feel like we've got good messaging and good things, but to get more of that out there, we need to turn our inventory faster. And to turn our inventory faster, we need more money to factor or to get lines of credit. Banks don't quite like us yet.
No, that's why factoring is just right for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and which is what we do. We're looking at a strategic partnership with a larger factoring company that includes, they want a little bite of equity in addition, but then they bring on a whole strategic consulting team as part of it, and they're big in the clothing area. They've done another number of large clothing brands. So I feel like we've got some good leads there, but I'm always gonna ask for more money.
Yeah, on our end, there's absolutely a sales and marketing side that we need to invest in. We've gotten these large accounts, and they're primarily myself and one other person. So that the sales end is really what we want to use our resources. You know, it's just to expand the sales, to go nation, to really keep because it's about educating our customers, educating the people who are going to buy it, and getting them to know. We know the demand is there, and as soon as I speak to the distributors, but that process takes time, right? And so that's what kills us. Is that does take time. I mean, as an example, the Home Depot account, it's been a year of working on that, to get that. And, and they would say, yeah, it's going to be, but eventually the order came.
One order so far.
Right, exactly, right. And so now they bought it, and now they have to distribute to the stores, and they're saying, well, it's going to take 2 months to get it to the stores. They're doing it online, which is great, and they're happy with the results. But so that we just need to build that pipeline. So using it for, on our end, sales, also some of the equipment, just being able to UL approval for machines that have got to go into places, some of those things that require capital, whether it's, we're doing rapid prototyping, we're building stuff with rapid prototyping, but we're going to have to get molds to, so some of that investment.
Yeah, very, very hardware heavy, right? We do a lot of stuff that are very hardware heavy, and it's just not, as they like to say at Apple, a dog walking app, and it just takes time. Rent, food, shelter. I can teach every single one of you how to code, how to wire, but who will be showing up at this time to do this work? Currency is currency. It's liquidity. It's what other people can then take and trade for the rest of the society. Other than that, then it's like, well, that was a great coffee conversation, and I still need to work on this year-long buying cycle, that then trickle down to this and that. And that's why it just, I think for the convenience of time, right? Like that's why for me, I'm not saying money. We're about 1/3, I'm gonna say private funded, 1/3 government funded, and 1/3 our own, just like getting a really low pay rate. So I'm not saying money, and I'm saying that we need sales to make it a business, like a viable, hard pumping, oxygen burning thing. So that's why we need sales.
And all of you can help by helping to share those stories that you heard today in your social media, working with Brad's team and getting out the information to have everyone shop locally for the holidays, support these businesses. I also use the hashtag Made in Monterey Bay. There's other question. Yes, sir.
So quick. So thanks, guys, for the presentation. I really appreciate it. Todd, a quick question for you. How did you decide to go the equity crowdfunding route? Kudos to you, it works.
Yeah.
And just curious how you found that process, and would you recommend it to some of the other people on the team?
Okay. So we were running through the end of our first CEC grant. We had just got our alpha unit ready for testing, and our plan was to use that as a showpiece to bring in angel investors, potential strategic investors. We delivered it to our testing partner's site, and the next week they locked the doors, and we were literally shut out from testing with COVID lockdowns. So we said, okay, well, what are we going to do now? That plan, we don't know when we can physically, meet with people again and show them our product and talk about the product. Nobody knew what the VC world was going to do. Everyone was saying, well, no one's going to invest in VC right now. So we said, well, let's try crowdfunding. Why not? What have we got to lose? And we had no social media. We had no Facebook account. We had a LinkedIn account. We had nothing else. So we built our network and our social presence over the course of that crowdfunding race. And it took us a while, and it was a slog to get there, but we eventually raised $950,000. And through the marketing, we got some, we got connected into the dairy industry. We got calls from the dairy industry because they saw our Facebook ads for our compressor, for our last crowdfunding. So it got our name out there, got us a lot of visibility. Now we've got thousands of subscribers on our email list. And it's not for everyone. It's not easy. I'm constantly surprised at how crowdfunding works. We had a great start to this round, and then it got really quiet.
How long did it take?
It took us almost 2 years. But the good thing about crowdfunding was you can draw the money as you go. So we were able to draw enough to keep
pushing the technology along and keep getting to that next milestone.
Was there any, how did you start engine or a funder or Republic?
Just, we did our due diligence. I think, there's another Santa Cruz company, Parallel Flight Technology, that had a really good success with them. That's why we want to start. But it's not an easy venue to raise money. You've got to have.
There was a secondary choice. If you hadn't had a shutdown of COVID, who knows what would happen?
Right.
You may not have.
We may have gone a
More traditional route.
Yeah. But you guys are great for that.
Yeah.
You guys are great. Yeah. And it would also help you market the product.
Yeah.
At the same time. While you're marketing the risk. Couldn't be an escort. You
Right.
already know
Yeah.
that.
We already know that. That's could be the end of this calendar year.
So just so you know, in crowdfunding, you can just sell socks.
Right,
Without
yeah.
selling equity, and you can do that as an escrow.
Right, to give a pair of socks for a contribution of X or, right, I mean,
Well, right. they're
sort of the
basically sell
Yeti
socks.
model or whatnot, like.
Right, you can just sell it. Crowdfunding is a path to just sell your product if you do it right.
And did you find that the video presentation was central to that? I mean, did you run a similar video to the one you showed? And
You just have to beat on it on all fronts. You have social media, email marketing, updates, getting out doing events like this, talking to people. Because you never know where we've had investments from $250 to $27,000 all over.
And constantly looking at your website to make sure you're fully optimized for search engine optimization, organic word searches, et cetera, really, really helps. But being on it all the time, about every other week.
yeah, we have a full-time person in-house who all they do is deal with the
SEO,
website and
yeah.
and Shopify and all that, yeah.
In one sentence, could each of you describe?
Flat.
You got a flat word.
Yeah.
Flat, you said?
Birkenstock, red hair stepchildren.
You fancy socks with the Birkenstock.
Persistent.
This is Cindy's quote. I think it's in our business plan somewhere. No assholes.
Yeah, don't get it.
We've turned down many collaborators who say, do my band. You should do my band. Look how big we are and we're great. And you just start talking like,
Not gonna work with Carnot.
yeah, not gonna work with Kanye.
Yes, ma'am.
Moving to another topic, I just wanted to ask in regards to your packaging.
Yeah.
Do you, if it's about sustainability, do you have anything on the flip side where you're planting trees somewhere or something like that? Because
No, we'd love to. I mean, so the paper is 100% recycled.
Oh,
So
cool.
the paper we buy has been recycled. So that the adhesives we use are all starch based. So the whole thing is compostable. Like we've composted it and it'll compost faster than egg cartons. And you can see that on a road. The area that we can improve on is our presses, right? So we're using electricity to heat our press. So if that energy is not coming from a renewable source, that's where, that's the question. So for example, we also use paper-based tape on our boxes. We don't use any plastic tape. We do our best for wrapping our pallets. We've had to use stretch wrap. We're trying to find an alternative, but so we just use one little layer. That's the only thing we can't get rid of because the paper cracks on the trucks. But so that's the one area, the energy on the presses. So
apparently, if we had our own building, we could stipulate where our electricity comes from, and then it comes 100% from recycled sources. So
Just
that
out
would,
of curiosity, how big is your facility in San Diego?
we have I mean, we rent, we have about 2,000 square feet.
Oh.
We rent that. It's actually in 2 different buildings, and we do our best.
Cool.
That's one of the things we're trying to do with our funding is to have a facility.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For those with consumer products, we use a partner company called EcoCart as an example. So when someone checks out online, they have an option to add a few pennies to EcoCart, which then goes to offset carbon created through the shipping of the product, as an example. So quite a few, you'd be surprised how many people will, throw in a few extra cents to do that. Doesn't work on multi-million-dollar, big or $50,000 items probably as well, but for the consumer B2C people out there.
We do have a really good resource in Monterey Bay Community Energy through CE to assist in energy assessments and working to offset and use PG&E energy credits for newer businesses. It's an economic development credit. And there's also a new organization. We used to have Energy Watch here through AMBAG. And now PG&E is funding a nonprofit out of San Luis Obispo, and they're going to start providing energy assessments and support within our region. So as soon as they're taking hold here, we use Brad and Doug and all of our connections to help spread the word.
I'd like to speak to the environmental aspect of it. I push for lead acid for as long as we can, because lead acid is actually 99% recycled as opposed to going to lithium. And also the thing with our hardware is that I hate going to a landfill and just seeing a whole bunch of appliances. And so the notion of a robot is really that it doesn't need to die. It is a vehicle that can just keep on going, right? Like your TI-85 probably still works from whichever. It's a couple of lines of code. There's consumable in terms of bristles and whatnot, but that piece of equipment, because of the fact that it's mostly software, 20% hardware, we should go for it.
Next, last question.
For Nicholas and Nico, where do you guys source your recycled materials from?
So we have found supply. That was a challenge to find mills, paper mills that are producing all recycled content paper. So we have, we've been able to find some of those mills and we get that brought. So mainly in Washington State. So we try to get the shortest distance we can from the mill.
I'm not sure I can answer that question.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. That was great. Moderator, nicely done. So, real quick. Excellent. All right, thanks to all of our presenters. I wanted to do the theme for tonight was making stuff, because I love production lines. I love to see physical products come off the end of the production line and be able to point to it and say, yes, I was involved in making that thing that went out there. And there's so much emphasis these days in software products and stuff that's up in the cyber space where it sort of exists, but yeah, not really. So I thought it'd be cool to do big iron, if you will. So thanks to everybody for that. Thank you to all of our sponsors that make this possible. In December, we'll be making stuff again, but this time it's stuff that we can eat. Tonight wasn't so much edible. Please don't eat the socks. But in December, given that it's going to be right up into holiday time, we always think that food's a good topic. So specialty foods like Emily Lippy and Miss Lippy's dumplings will be there. So please join us Tuesday, December 13th, probably here, but watch, we'll announce exactly where we're going to be. And thank you all for being here tonight.